So many of us have experienced inflammation, like when you sprain your ankle or scrape your skin. And at its core, inflammation is the body's response to an illness or injury to ultimately try to restore your health. But it is also linked to a variety of chronic diseases, including diabetes, heart disease, and even allergies. NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal joins us now. Dr. Syal, this is important because I think a lot of people have suffered this, perhaps not knowing necessarily what it was. On one hand, experts say that inflammation is necessary for our survival, and without it, our bodies really wouldn't be able to fight off viruses and bacteria. So when is inflammation helpful versus when is it a problem?
It's a great question, Morgan. And, inflammation is one of the biggest buzzwords in medicine. It's one of the reasons, Morgan, that Tom Brady famously, made his own ice cream out of avocados and didn't need tomatoes to lower that inflammation in the body. So there's a lot of interest around this. And so it's helpful to think of it, Morgan, as acute versus chronic inflammation. So acute inflammation, in the short term can be life-saving if you get a cut or a scrape. But chronic inflammation, you can see some risk factors on your screen there, obesity, smoking tobacco, eating a diet that's, high in processed foods. Those all promote chronic inflammation, right? Inflammation that lasts in the body for weeks to months to years. And that's what we were, sort of wanting to look at today. And what do those symptoms look at? You can see some of them on your screen there, but really, Morgan, it's persistent joint pain, right? Joint pain that doesn't go away after a long time. Fatigue, constipation, and if it spreads to your brain, you can get brain fog or depression. So if you have any of these, Morgan, really the takeaway for your viewers is there is a way to test for inflammation. It is not something we do for young, healthy people who come in wanting this test. Mm-hmm. But if you have those symptoms we just talked about, talk to your doctor about a test.
And what about tips for reducing it?
So it's reversing a lot of those things. So that's the good news. If you make those changes, you can reduce the inflammation in the body. So, for example, if you lose some of that weight, if you start exercising, eat a diet that's lower in processed foods. The diet that's actually been linked to reducing inflammation, Morgan, is the Mediterranean diet. A diet that's high in fish and plant-based largely. So really making some of those changes, Morgan, you can reduce the level of inflammation in your body. You can hopefully reduce some of the symptoms you may be having, like joint pain or fatigue. So good news is there is something you can do about it.
All right, Dr. Akshay Syal joining us from our LA bureau. Dr. Syal, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.